Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're diving back into the Simple Stories Dear Santa album. I got this from my little scrapbook store and I'm working on it, using it for my December daily, and it seems like I'm not going to do 49th Market. I'm barely getting through this. So we're just going to flip through real quick. These first few pages I recorded and then I lost the recording. So I'm just showing you, like, here I have spots open to where I can slide photos in once I'm ready to start placing my pictures. And then we're going to start now on this back page. Okay. So on the directions, I like to grab everything it's telling me to use. That's usually how I start, putting it together. So I look for whatever bits and pieces. If there's layered, I think, what is it called? I wound up using some this time. It's not on this page, but there's the layered bits. So you have bits and pieces, and then you have layered bits. And the layered bits, oh, hello, Salem. He only hopped up once, thank goodness, but he likes to make an appearance. Anywho, I like to grab all the pieces that we need to create it. So at first, when I was looking at the picture, the paper here looks a little bit more bluish to me. But in person, it has definitely more of a hint of green. So we're going to look for that here in a second. But in the directions, the papers that come in this binder, the pre cut up, already got the holes in it. We're cutting this with a 1-inch strip. Okay. And then we're going to create a border. So what I like to do also is take the page out and work on it without the binder being right on top of it. It just makes it easier, especially since some of the pages, they're easy to take in and out in that sense. Now I'm using this border punch, which I didn't, I've been using it because I made another binder and it worked fine. And then tonight it wanted to give me a little bit of a headache. So while I'm fussing and fighting with this, I'll just explain a few things too. Um, but what the instructions also go over is like times when they want you to use foam for your adhesive. Sometimes they want something just adhered straight with glue. They'll just say adhere it, but when it's something that they want popped up, they'll always mention to you about the foams. And then there's also like places for enamel dots. And during the course of this video, we actually get to use some more of the baker's twine. So I'm really excited to share everything that the next, I can't even tell you how many pages. I think we do 5 pages because we're on page 6 right now that we're working on. And I believe I go to page 11, possibly 12. But I just wanted to show you. Oh, I'm sharing a little plastic bag I'm using for my trash. All right. So now we got that page. And then here's where I'm looking for the winter mint. And at first I was like, did that even come with this paper collection? Because I seriously was looking for like a bluish color. And I was like, I didn't see any blue. Turns out I had it. Like I said, it's a green color. So today, in my eyes, it's more on the greenish side, whereas in the printout, to me, it favors more on the blue. It's okay. We had it. Case solved. Now, this Merry Christmas with the ivies on each side is going to go in the middle between our photos, right? Well, normally I would not add the photos, just leave my white borders and then come back. But I can't attach the Merry Christmas without it. So I'm like, let me show you guys how I use it. I'm using Project Life. I'm going to change my orientation so it mimics what we have. And now I'm just adding in, well, I already did that part, but I wanted to show you that that is what I did to create my 2 photos. And then I'm going to print them out, and then you're going to see another cut here in a second after I've attached our border. And I put a little magnet there. I don't know if you can see that. It's not very strong, but it holds it. And then sometimes my finger will hit it and knock it off. It's a good idea, but I think my magnet would just need to be a tad bit stronger. Anywho, we're putting down our border. And then we're going to go ahead and attach our winter mint paper. And then once I get this adhered, I'm going to grab the photos. Real quick, the pink bracelet that I have on my left hand, I got from the lovely Lily. She's the daughter to one of the design team members, Gina, that I always work with on my little scrapbook store. And I think it's super sweet. And I wanted to wear it while I was recording my video so she can see I did wear it. But I think it's super cute. And I love how she put it together. It's nice and thick. Okay. So now I had stopped, got the photos, and we're just going to trim them down very little because they almost match right to the mat. Okay. Because the mat is 4x3. So what I'm going to do is cut my photos down to 3 7/8 by, oh my goodness, what is it? What's left? Yeah, 3 7/8 by 2 7/8. So not quite 3/4. It's a little bit longer than 3/4. And then that's going to give us a nice even border all around. And we're going to get these attached. So there are some times where I think you're going to have to put in a photo as you go. If you're trying to put the whole entire album together at once, you may not be able to uh, skip that on certain pages only because of how everything is laid out together. The good news is for me, and the way my mind is, it doesn't always have to be in sequence. You know what I mean? So for me, I don't care if I have an 8 for like my day, say on this one, because it was today I took the pictures, or it could have, it could have been something from last week sometime in a couple of pages down the road and have a number 2. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, to me, and for what I want to use it for, I'm not going to care which order it is. I just want to put the photos in uh that just match to what we're doing. So I like this Merry Christmas because on the bottom photo, I was in front of one of the Christmas trees at the courthouse today. And it had a Merry Christmas on it. And it just happens to work out that that's what goes across the middle here. So I was like, genius, that's where it's going. And I like the fact that on both of these photos, I cropped my mouth off. So it's just like from my nose up. Don't ask me why I do photos like that. And don't ask me why I use all these little foams. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm trying to use up some of this stuff that I've had since I first started crafting. So that's why all the little bits. But I just thought they were so cute. They are, or I can make them fit in the orientation I needed. So they're going here. If you have something else that you want to have work and it doesn't line in on page 6 being day 6, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to be that strict with it. And then I'm just putting a little bit of wet glue on top of the foam, and we're gonna even this right in the center, press down, and then I'm gonna put foam behind each of the ivy pieces. And the cool part is on that left side, that little one is going to kind of fill in. So it almost looks like it's one piece going right across the middle instead of it being actually 3 pieces. And this particular foam, I think I got Stampin' Up. Lord, it finally came to me. I knew the company's name, and for the life of me, I couldn't think of it. But Stampin' Up was where I originally got these foams from. And the only thing I like about it is that you can use every bit of it. So around the corner, around the edges, everything in the middle. all of it is usable foam. So now we're taking all the backings off of this one. We're going to add some glue on the back of that. And then we'll be able to, I always tap it. I don't know if you guys ever know this, but I do that because sometimes it's hard to see if there's any like foam pieces that you missed some of the backings on. So I tap all of it so I can tell that it's sticky. Because I'm putting a little bit of glue on it anyway to help lay it down. All right, so I'm going to bring the book back over and we're going to go ahead and put that piece in. So we know that up to 6, we're done. Now we're going to start page 7. And page 7, I'm just looking through over. Oh no, I'm sorry. I forgot. I grabbed some of the flares because Michelle had these made special for my little scrapbook store for December daily. It has, I forget if it's 1 through 24 or if it's 1 through, oh no, it actually goes all the way to 31. So I just put an 8 there because today's the 8th, the day that I recorded it, and the day that I added um those pictures. I actually took those pictures, so that's why I put that on. So now we're going to go to the next page, and it says that we use the 6x8 protector sheet, so that's easy. Now we're going to grab a 6x8 the paper that has red flowers. I think it's small red flowers. Yeah, white floral. So, oh, there it is. And then we're grabbing another piece of that winter mint. And this one is cut like 2.5x8. And then we get a 4x6 photo mat, or you can all just add your photo. I've started doing the white border, so I'm going to be using the white paper. If you don't like white and cream, like if you were one of those people who are like, it's not pure white, feel free to use cream paper. You just want to use something that is going to hold the place of a photo. So when you're ready to add the photos, you know where to put it, right? So I know anything that's plain white is where I'm going to put a photo of some sort. Okay. Now, if you're doing it and you decide you want all green mats, that's fine. Use all green mats. If you want to use all craft colored cardstock for your mats, do that. It's up to you. If you don't want to use any mats and just put your photos in when you come up to the point where you have to put in the photo, do that. These things are so user friendly. You can literally do anything that makes you happy and it'll be okay. If you don't put something on like foam under a piece, it's okay. You just don't want the dimension. It's not going to be the end of it, and it's not going to make your book not look good. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what I like about this the most is that it's so, it takes the pressure off. Because a lot of times when I was trying to do December dailies on my own, that's where I struggled because it was like I have no ideas, I have, no thoughts. How am I going to make it through this, for the next 25 days, 31 days, whatever ones you do? But by using this simple stories, it's just making it so much easier. It really is. It's taking the stress of it, of trying to figure it out or come up with something cool to put in my book because, that's what people do. Yeah. I'm grateful for this year for sure. So I just put the foam from like the candy cane over, okay? That little white, it looks like a tag or a stamp, and the 25 that I connected to it, I have no foam under it because when I'm ready, I just want to be able to slide my photo under there and attach it without having to worry about, oh, I got this stick down now. How do I get my photo? So that's a great trick too, is you can be very strategic with where you put your photo, like the foam pieces, on elements that you're putting on top. So if it's kind of on the photo and then slightly off, then good. On the part that's off the photo, put all your foam and adhesives, and the part that would be on the photo, leave it alone. Let it be loose, and then that way you can always add your photo at a later time. Because I know some people like to order their photos in. I use a Canon selfie printer. So I'm able to print a lot of my photos here, but like I said, I do know that some people have to order. So if you wanted to put this together so you'd be ready, just make sure you kind of hide that, make it so you can put your photos in at a later date. So on this one, we're doing photos again, and then we have these elements going right along the middle again. So, of course, what does that mean? I got to print more photos. No problem. So we're going to grab this from the bits and pieces with the poinsettia, and that's going to go in the middle. And then we got our two photos at the top and the bottom. So it mirrors what's going on the other page, right? Makes sense. And sometimes they do that. And then if you are adventurous and you wanted to change it up a bit, you could make this a waterfall page. You could change it up to what you need if you're that advanced. I'm not. I'm enjoying following the little how to's, okay? But don't be afraid or think that you have to get this and adhere exactly to what they're giving you. If you're at that advanced and you've done this before, this ain't your first rodeo, and you want to change something up, change it up. You have the foundation. You can make the house look however you want. All right, and we're doing the same thing. We're trimming these two photos down to that 3 7/8 by 2 7/8. And we're going to attach our photos. Now, this one is funny because I'm doing a tea advent calendar at work. But what I realized with these, for this tea one, it's the same flavors because it's only 5 different flavors. So after I did the first 5 days, I'm repeating the flavor I had on day one. So it's like, okay, I'm over this one. Now, I do have another one that I'm working on, which is hot cocoa. And so far, each day it has been a different flavored cocoa. And I'm so excited about it. I'm hoping that they have a white chocolate one in there. I'm like, please let that be day 24. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm adhering these at the top and the bottom, and these are just glued straight down. And that's going to create enough space to put that poinsettia and everything right in the middle. All right. And I'm doing my best to kind of line up. I'm doing it by sight. If you need to use your ruler, go for it. Do whatever makes you happy. For me, I don't care. If I'm slightly off, I'm slightly off. It'll be all right. I'm probably not the one if to follow if you want something nice and precise. Like my rulering tends to be just measuring to make sure I got the right paper I pre-cut. Other than that, I'm not lining up nothing. I'm eyeballing it. All right. Now that that's straight, thank goodness I used that wet glue, huh? Because I was able to straighten that. Now with this spot, I'm just going to put all my foam pieces in that area. And then I'm going to put a few pieces slightly on the outside. So that way that piece that hangs off will have the foam underneath of it as well. And I think once I lay it down, there's only one little spot that the foam is kind of sticking out, and I do trim it a little bit. And then the poinsettia ephemera piece, a little bit of it is going to stick off over the edge. And I just cut it. Yeah, so you'll see that here in a second. So we're getting ready to put this down. and it's so cool. It just worked out that it's right in that area on both of the photos that's wide open. So I can lay it down over top of them and it's not blocking anything. And sorry, I had to bring it up to me because I needed to be able to see. And then I just trimmed. So now it fits perfectly. And then the last bit is to add 3 enamel dots. And they were all red, it said in the instructions. Now, I'm going to add one more enamel dot into the center of the poinsettia because on the other poinsettias I used, they had us do that. And I was like, you know what? I really want to put another one there. I think it'll finish it out. So I'm going to grab it. I'm just going to take one of the small ones, put a little dot of glue, and add it down. And I think it'll be okay. Because I doubt that you use every single enamel dot um, when it comes to completing this book. Anyway. All right. It got stuck a little bit on my little piece there. But now that is... Sorry, I hit the camera trying to move over my... So we just did page 7 and page 8. There we go. And now we're going to do page 9 and 10. So page 9, we have to take this red and white strip and cut an inch and a half off and put the inch and a half to the side. And then we're going to work on the side that we have left with the holes already. And we're going to grab the winter mint and go ahead and fold it. It was already pre-scored. That was part of our cutting. And now we're going to start putting this together. Now this one was a nice little interaction. So we have a folded over, basically it's what, 4x3. So it was 4x6. And then we scored it in half. So it's creating the flaps. And then I'm looking at on the bottom left of the paper, there's they're showing you this piece open. So I'm looking for the piece that goes on the left inside. So that way when we get ready to start putting this all together, I'll have everything out and I won't have to look for it. I would say that's probably the most time consuming, but I still think doing all your cuts is way easier than if you waited until you got to the page to look through all the papers and try and cut out just one piece. I think it would be more time consuming to do it that way. So I still, even with having to search some of this out, I still think pre-cutting, doing all the cuts first, is probably the better way to go. All right, so now I got the cream colored cardstock, which comes in the kit. And I'm going to go ahead and start gluing that down to the front here. And I'm using all the dot liner and my wet glue is what I do with my layouts when I'm making cards. It's my go-to glue method. And I only do that because sometimes the dot liner, it'll adhere, but it doesn't stay for a long period of time. And if this is something that you want to last, I would definitely use the wet glue as well. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just that security. Okay. And then on the right hand side, on the inside here is going to be a photo. So I'm going to cut a 4x3. It says in the directions. And I'm just double checking while, yeah. Yes. 3x4 is how they put it, but I always go bigger. So I say 4x3 on the right hand side. And then that other 4x3 card that we found, we're going to go ahead and get that attached to the left hand side. And then attach the ephemera piece with the word rush on it. So that's going to go there. So on this particular front page, you have this hidden photo, right? So like if I have a crazy photo that I want to share, I'm making like a crazy face, but I really don't want it to be prominent. I would put it in this part because I could still share it and share the memory for myself, but the whole world doesn't have to see it as soon as they turn to that page. And unless I want someone to see it, they won't know that it's in there. Or I could even put a list over there, right? So, dear Santa, this is what I want for Christmas, right? I could put that over there. Just because they say photo doesn't mean I have to stay with a photo. Because that piece is 3x4. All I have to do if I wanted to do journaling or something like that in there, I just get me a 3x4 journal card and then put it on top of it. Or I can stamp it with lines because it's a clean piece of paper and then just write my message or my note on there. That's a good idea. Hopefully I'll watch this when I'm ready to do it and I'll do that. Lordy. Because not every page has to have a photo. Okay. So now we're gonna flip it over. This one I was so excited about because I love doing this and I've always wanted to do it even on a layout. We're taking the two ornaments, the baker's twine, and we're going to basically hang these two ornaments. Okay. Now, what I like about this, like say, um, I'm gonna be working on my tree hopefully over the next couple of days for the weekend. I can take pictures of my tree and the ornaments that I got for it and then put them on the other side because I'm hanging ornaments on you know what I mean? Like I can make it make sense in that sense. So I think that could be fun. I've been holding off on doing my tree because I was waiting for my tree skirt. It's not even a skirt. It's one of those like bands that kind of go around it. Something new I've seen a lot of people doing this year. So I was like inspired. So I got one too. But I was waiting for it to get here so I could do my tree. Okay. So I'm putting the phones on the back of the ornaments because that's what they suggested to do in the directions. And now after I do that, I'm going to take the baker's twine and we're going to thread it through the ornaments. Now, this baker's twine is on the thinner side, okay? And what I was looking at in the photo, it looked thicker to me. So what I decided to do was to double up the baker's twine. Michelle was really nice. She gave us a lot of baker's twine. And the best part is, as crafters, most of us have some type of baker's twine, you know? And I'm pretty sure I could probably find some black and white in my stash if I needed to. But so I wasn't worried about using up too much. I just wanted to make sure it was gonna look good. So what I did is I took an extra long piece, I doubled it up, and then tied the knot because they had their knot on the outside of the ornament. And then it looks like they tie up the string straight up. So we're going to do that again. And I realized on that first one I did, I probably had too much string considering it's closer to the top. But I don't figure that out until like later. And then that one's going to go like in there somewhere. Okay, so let's get this down. We're going to take the foam off. And it's so funny. So right here, after I get all the backings off of the foam and then I put my little bit of glue, I'm going to pull on the string and you guessed it, it's going to pop right on out. I'm like, oh, how do I get it back in? Well, thankfully, I took it from the other end and just thread it through so that the knot would be on the outside again. But I was like, only while you're making a video would that happen. And then I'm going to take my wet glue and draw a line basically to the top and put my string inside that glue. And the best part is art glitter glue dries clear. So it's not going to be ugly. It's going to dry nice and clear. And you won't be able to tell that I put glue all over the place. And yet it will adhere and that will stay. I will tell you, art glitter glue is very strong. It holds acrylic like butter. I'm telling you, not butter, not soft, but I mean it you won't be able to take it off the project. Once it dries, it is strong. It's very strong. Okay, so now I'm just gluing a little bit of my strings down, which I did with the first one. And now I'm going to do the same thing, try and do a straight line with my wet glue, and then put my two pieces down into that, and then we'll trim it. All right. And then the only other thing is that ivy piece, we're going to put some foam squares. I'm just going to actually put two, and it's going to fit right there in that little sweet spot. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the one end without the foam, so that way it attaches to the joy ornament very easily. And there's that page. So now the next page, we're going to do two 4x6s. Okay. And then this is actually going to be page 11 and 12 that we're working on. So this has the potential to go pretty fast. I just didn't want to do too long of a video where we're trying to do the whole book in one video. That's why I'm breaking these up. And I hope you guys are okay with that. I was so mad that my first few pages, I lost them after I put it together. I was so mad, but I was like, you know what? It's okay. I just had to stop for a few days and walk away, breathe, and then I could come back and continue. So on the top part of our 4x6, it's just going to be a 4x6 photo. So I put my white mat up at the top. And on the bottom piece here, I'm just cutting a gingham piece because the gingham paper was the first paper that I cut and I had messed up. So parts of that I am going to have to redo. And I was able to get an extra sheet from Michelle, thankfully. So that way, if I come to a spot where I need a bigger piece, I do have a second gingham sheet that I can cut. So I'm grabbing that from our layer bits and then a green button from the bits and pieces. So now we're going to attach everything. And stuff like this, I don't know why, but I can really get into a zone. Like if you guys only knew, like right now, I'm recording this and it's after midnight on Friday. And of course, I feel wide awake because, that's how it works when you got to go to work the next day. But the best part is everything just flowed so easily. Like I had to force myself to stop. Like, stop. It's okay. We'll continue on. They'll be all right. Everyone is okay. You know what I mean? Like I gotta talk myself or else I'll keep going and not even pay attention because it just keeps each page is so there's levels of things that you have to do, and when they're super simple you just keep going to the next one. You can really fly through this. Okay, trying to find the opening. So there's that. Now on this side at the top, we're not going to have to do anything. We leave the photo alone, so it'll be photo on one side, photo on the other, and then they want on the other side a gingham 4x6, which was pre-cut. And then on top of that, there's going to be the Santa tag and then the 3 stars. And I'm pulling the 3 stars out of the packaging now. And I want to say, I'm going to look through here real quick while I'm futzing with the baker's twine. I just want to look ahead a little bit. Because I want to say it's like 30. Yeah. So all in all, including the back page, Yeah, the back cover. It's like 41, I guess it would be, pages. Is how they break it down. And we're on 12. We're doing 12 right now. And yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you have plenty of opportunity to be able to use this for a December daily because technically that's a lot of pages. You know what I mean? You're thinking like almost every page could be a day. That allows you some room where you can do maybe multiple days or multiple uh, elements. You know what I mean? So, we're just putting some foam on the back. I'm just trying to make sure it's all nice and even. I didn't want it to droop or be weird, you know? Okay, I'm just cutting a little piece here to go on either side of the string because I want to make sure it's nice and lifted for that piece. And what I'm noticing on this book, a lot of the elements are on the inside, whereas on the cookbook one, they did a lot of putting elements onto the plastic of the protector sheet, which I like as well. I think, you can kind of do a mixture of both. Now, having done two different ones so far, I definitely think the more of these you do, the more you can kind of step out on your own. And like I said, use more adhesive, like foam adhesive. Um, Changing things where instead of putting it on the inside, maybe putting it on the outside, you know what I mean? And making it work for you. So this is 12 and 13. And then our next page is actually going to start with this polka dot. So I'll come back with another part, which will be part 4. And we'll start with page 13. And this is just a quick little flip through and where we're at so far. Thank you guys for joining me. I will have the links to the My Little Scrapbook store down in the more section. Definitely leave comments if you have any questions. Click over there if you want to go and get this album. I'm having so much fun, and thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you with the next video.